UFC 319 has just taken place, and this is my reaction to the entire card. So there were 12 fights in total, 7 finishes on the card. Let's start right away with the main event. That is Khamzat Chimaev is now the new UFC middleweight champion after absolutely dominating Dricus du Plessis. I'm going to be honest, from DDP's side, that's one of the most embarrassing title fight performances I think I've ever seen. That is the word to describe it. He landed 45 total strikes in a 5-round fight. Khamzat Chimaev landed 529. And I just quickly want to go over this. I know a lot of people are hating on Khamzat, saying that was a boring performance. He just stalled on top of DDP. We just wet blanketed him. That's more on DDP than it is on Khamzat Chimaev, in my opinion, because Khamzat Chimaev, yes, he wasn't throwing real punishing shots, but he was still trying to work when he had DDP on the ground. Has DDP ever wrestled a day in his life before? No, serious question. What the fuck were they doing in training camp? Like, what were they doing? And, like, I knew that I picked Khamzat to win. That was my prediction. I thought Khamzat would have stopped him inside 2 rounds. I thought Khamzat maybe would have been able to hold him down in a position where DDP couldn't get out of, and the referee would have been forced to step in because of ground and pound. And I thought we were going to get to that because of how many times Khamzat got DDP in the crucifix position, which honestly is an absolute cheat code in MMA. But a lot of people are critiquing Khamzat Chimaev for his performance. And not a lot of people are talking about what DDP done in there, which is absolutely fucking nothing outside of the 5th round. I think it was round 2 where Khamzat had him up against the side of the cage, and DDP was just on one leg, just stalling, not trying to get up, not trying to work to his feet at all. Like, at all. And people are critiquing Khamzat Chimaev, and I'm not even a Khamzat Chimaev fan. I actually think he's got the most unbearable fan base in the entirety of the sport. I wanted DDP to win, but I don't get how people critique Khamzat for just dominating DDP, but aren't saying anything for Dricus du Plessis, who actually done nothing outside of the 5th round. Like, there was no scrambling, there was no urgency to get up, there was none of that at all. And, like, I don't get what the game plan was. And people are saying, Khamzat Chimaev's unbeatable now, look at him now, he's got his cardio sorted out. We don't even know if he has his cardio sorted. He went 5 rounds at a snail's pace. That was not a fast-paced fight. You know, the fight against Gilbert Burns, that was high action. The fight against Kamaru Usman, high action. Usman was constantly trying to get Khamzat Chimaev off him. He was constantly being aggressive with him in there on the feet. Always sprawling, always looking to get him off him, always looking to get back to his feet. DDP didn't do that at all. Like, at all. It was such a shit fight. My most anticipated fight of the year, and it was ass. And most of it comes down to DDP. I mean, it was absolute domination from start to finish. I don't know if any round was a 10-8. You know, there was no round. Yes, he got a lot of control time. Like, I think his control time, what did it end up being? Does this tell me here? Nah, it doesn't tell you. But, you know, I know he held him down for a lot during this fight, but there wasn't any moments where you're like, holy shit. Like, there wasn't like a Moicano, Benoit Saint Denis moment where it's like, right, he's landing some massive shots here and he's dominating him. There was none of that in that matchup. There was just a lot of control. I mean, he landed 12 takedowns out of 17 attempts in this matchup. DDP offered him nothing. Like, that is the word to describe this fight from DDP's perspective, is embarrassing. That was dog shit. Absolute dog shit. I hope Khamzat now he's got a visa and he seems to be healthy. Hopefully we can get him active. Like, that's my issue with him being champion, is if he's not going to be active, it's just going to stall up and ruin another division. But obviously DDP didn't want to be champion anymore because he just fucking gave up. Like, honestly, going into the 3rd round when he wasn't able to do anything again, it was just being held down. At that point, just let him sub you, because you're not even attempting to get up or make a fight out of this. It was shit. But now Khamzat's the new champion, and we've got the most unbearable fan base to listen to. Moving on, in some other good news, Luron Murphy knocks out Aaron Pico in the 1st round.
Bruh.
Now, I was picking Luron Murphy to win this, not by knockout at all. I was picking him to win this by decision. And Aaron Pico, let's go through the positives. Got a couple of takedowns on Luron Murphy, 2 out of the 3 attempted. He was very heavy with his forward pressure. Another positive is, I like the body shots that he was throwing when he had Luron Murphy up against the cage. Very telegraphed, his hands were low when he was throwing them. He was really loading up on them. But nice placement on the body shots. But Stop bringing these guys over. Like, when you bring these guys over from now on, they start off as like someone who's just signed from the Contender Series, bottom of the fucking barrel. Stop wasting time on these fights. Like, Luron Murphy's probably going to fight Volkanovski now because Volk called him out in December. Off beating Aaron Pico, who had 0 wins in the UFC. He's now going to jump Movsar Evloev. Stop bringing these guys in and giving them these fights. Good knockout for Luron Murphy. I like Luron Murphy. He's not who's entertaining, but that was a really fun finish. He stiffened Aaron Pico out badly. Like, he was literally on the floor, like, stiff as a board. He was fucked. He was out. Really, really good win for Luron Murphy. Good statement win as well. Just quickly, I thought this was meant to be a 5-rounder and it was 3. When it was announced, I thought it was a 5-rounder. But anyway, nonetheless, it didn't even need to go 3 rounds. Luron Murphy spinning elbow knocked out Aaron Pico. Let's move on to Jeff Neal versus Carlos Praes. Carlos Praes is him. This was a really fun fight for as long as it lasted. Jeff Neal, as game as they come, he put it on Carlos Praes. I thought Carlos Praes being a southpaw, he's very powerful. The range of him as well, and he utilises his kicks really well. I just thought his whole stand-up was just a nightmare for Jeff Neal to deal with. He's a pretty head-heavy striker, if you know what I mean. Like, he prioritises looking for that knockout shot, and a spinning KO again, back to back. By the way, I think this is the first time we've ever seen this in UFC. But what a win for Carlos Praes. The hype died away after the Ian Gary loss, but it's picked right back up. Great win, highlight reel finish. Fair play to both guys. This was a fun fight for as long as it lasted. Really good win from Carlos Praes. Moving on, Jared Cannonier versus MVP. MVP wins fights based on aura. I'm just going to be honest. Like, this guy, why are people scared to engage with him? Like, he's just doing Fortnite dances for 90% of this fight every time. And do you know what's crazy? Like, this guy was starching people in Bellator. So was Aaron Pico. It goes to show the difference in levels from like these, like the PFL, which is, they bought Bellator, these lower side MMA promotions, to when they make the jump to the UFC, which is the best of the best. My MVP can't knock out anybody. Now, he did kind of drop, which wasn't scored as a knockdown, Jared Cannonier, but he does a lot of things where he lunges in, lands the big right hand, and then like follows through like a push and pushes you over and knocks you off balance. Good win for MVP. I thought he was going to finish Jared Cannonier, to be honest. I thought he would be too quick, too powerful, too awkward. He was too quick, too awkward, not too powerful to knock him out. I think he wants to go back down to welterweight. I'm pretty sure he called out Carlos Praes, which would be a really fun fight. But the UFC seem to want to keep him in the middleweight division, and now he'll be ranked inside the top 10. It kind of seems like he maybe has to stay there now. I'm not too sure though, but this was just an okay fight. Moving on, Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. Tim Elliott gets a submission win. This guy was like, what do you call that style where he's like acting drunk? You know, the way he's moving. What the fuck was Tim Elliott doing in there? Nonetheless, he submits Kai Asakura. Again, another prime example. Don't bring actually send this guy back to wherever you got him from. Rising, send him back there. Send him 2-3 years rising and forget. But again, like Tim Elliott's beating him. You know what I mean? This was really not a good look for Kai Asakura. It was dog shit, to be honest. Good sub win for Tim Elliott. I really didn't expect it. Eric Nolan getting submitted by, I cannot say this guy's name for the life of me. Urkaev. I can never say his name. But anyway, coming off the Dana White Contender Series, quick turnaround against Eric Nolan. It wasn't as dominant as I thought it was going to be for him, to be honest. Eric Nolan was just swinging for the fences. Good win though, especially with a quick turnaround. GM3 stopped by Mikhail Liseychuk. I thought GM3 was going to sub him, but Mikhail Liseychuk, powerful striker. They normally give GM3 problems, and it's crazy how easy Mikhail Liseychuk got through him. And you look at RDR, who's maybe looking at a title eliminator now, and the struggles he had against GM3. Luby Godinez beats Jessica Andrade. Next, Chase Hooper beat by Alexander Hernandez. I didn't see this coming. I thought Alexander Hernandez would fall apart as the fight goes on. Maybe he would have, who knows. Chase Hooper couldn't get him to the later stages of the fight. Good win by KO for Alexander Hernandez. Edson Barbosa, Drakkar Klose. Good name for Drakkar Klose to have on his resume. Pretty close fight though. Pretty close fight. And outside of that, you had another women's matchup, and then you had an upset win for Joseph Morales, beating Idris by submission. This was the Ultimate Fighter finale, so good win for Joseph Morales there. Overall, UFC 319 was a really fun card outside of the main event. Let me know what you thought of this card in the comments below. And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you all again in the next one.